especially because Wonder Woman is I feel one of the most iconic women-empowered superheroes of all time. And like for him to, I feel then at this point, what I feel and I say is that I don't think he was a fan of the comic book at all, or even of the character, because if any other director would have never put that in movies.
Yeah, they would have never thought of that.
Yeah, because like that's like diminishing the character in itself, you know? Like, why would you do that? It's like the second most powerful character in the DC universe.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was kind of it's like once I saw that, I was like, oh, this guy's fucking nasty, dude. Like he's not a comic book fan. Like this guy obviously does not know the source material of what he's doing in the movies.
I mean, I thought his Avengers were trash. That's just my opinion, but I don't like them.
Yeah,
that's a popular opinion among a lot of people. They say that, well, he did Avengers: Age of Ultron and the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people say that they didn't like either of those movies. That was kind of the lackluster of the other 10, 15 movies that exist right now with the Marvel Universe.
And he had trouble with Marvel too, you know. So.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's a trending thing. But moving on to my last bit of news, Marvel will not be hosting a panel or present at the San Diego Comic-Con at-home event this year. That's going to be the live event that Comic-Con is holding for anyone who wants to see what's going on. It's kind of going to be basically Comic-Con online. Basically, what it is. You're going to be able to see panels and from other production companies, like, well, not Marvel, but other places and DC, I guess. Well, I don't think DC is going to be there either, because they're doing their own thing as well. So they're having their own DC fandom, which is coming out late August. So I don't know, maybe check that out if you'd like to. There's probably some other interesting stuff that's going to be there aside from Marvel and DC, so check that out. But yeah, that's the last bit of my news. It was a pretty good news week for me overall. But what else you got?
Nice. I got some stuff. I don't know, Diego. Do you want to go first, or?
I just want to. I don't know if you guys heard that the Tron 3 is being in the works.
No.
Yeah, that just dropped today. Actually, that's one thing I did forget to mention. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Tron 3 is in the works with Jared Leto.
And it's the star.
Yeah. And Daft Punk returning to do the score for this.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for that. Remember, it must have been like a couple years ago, a year ago, that was my news that Jared Leto was supposed to be in the new Tron, and you were just like, what? Why? And I'm referring to James, but he was like so weirded out by that. Like, what?
I think it's because like Jared Leto after Joker kind of was like on a down, like he kind of was like, it hurt him to be the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
he was doing so good with what's it called, with Dallas Club.
Yeah,
Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah,
and his little part in Blade Runner 2049, he was really good.
Yeah. So like, imagine doing the Joker and then like people bombing on that. And then now, like, your career is kind of like on a downward spiral. But I think with Tron, it's going to be a little different. I'm hoping that they make a really good movie, especially for people that are fans of the original. The Legacy one was pretty all right. I'm not saying it was trash, but it was pretty all right.
I really did like Legacy. I actually, to be honest, I've never seen the first one. I've seen bits and segments of it. But I've never seen the whole movie.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's good, dude.
It wasn't received well. That's why there was talks for a third one before this news, but it never did. It never did well with critics or in the box office. Really, I think it kind of flopped for Disney, and they kind of scared them away.
It's too dark, and that's a shame because I really loved the concept, the way that they went with it. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
and I hope they keep that that kind of concept art. I hope they keep leaning the way that they legacy.
I love the way that design is. Yes, the dark and then like the white, like the whites, and I don't know, it looked really good.
Yeah, everything, like aesthetically, that movie's fucking great, dude.
The music was perfect for that. And every time I listen to that soundtrack, it's perfect.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I think what people are criticizing more is the storyline. But even that, it's like up for debate, because like if you really are a fan of Tron, then it kind of stayed true to what Tron was, you know? And plus, think about it, how long ago was the audience for the first Tron, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already way older.
And they probably were like, oh, what is this new bullshit? Like, they were already disconnected from it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, it was like a slow day. It was a slow week for me because I was working a lot, and also, like, there was a lot of stuff that I was working on. So,
for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that, guy.
No worries.
No worries.
That's it for my news.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a few pieces. I'll try to run through them quickly. First of all, I wanted to give a shout out to the iconic Italian composer Ennio Morricone. He passed away, I think it was last weekend, at the age of 91. He was a beautiful composer. He's done numerous things, you know, not just with Tarantino, but across the board, even going back to the classic spaghetti westerns. So it's going to be weird to not be able to hear anything fresh from him anymore. And in light of his passing, I actually brought on our good friend Chris Pollock and we kind of chatted about his legacy for about an hour. So I'll be releasing that as a bonus episode along with this one. So if you're interested, please stream that and check it out and hear what we have to say.
Nice.
Moving on, I wanted to say happy belated birthday to Frida Kahlo. Happy belated birthday to the great Kevin Bacon.
Freddy Cougar, bruh.
Yeah, maybe, right? In some A24 news, their newest horror film, Saint Maud, has been delayed once again, obviously for, COVID reasons. First being pulled last April, then delayed once again from its July 17th release. Another date has yet to be announced. Also, to piggyback on the A24 news, the Midsummer Director's Cut Collector's Edition that I was talking about, I think last week, is now sold out. The first wave. Both editions. So if you didn't pick it up, they are going to be restocking it. Ghostbusters was re-released for Ghostbusters Day, and for the first time in 36 years, the original film was #1 at the box office.
Wow.
Yes. So that's
crazy.
That's pretty much making history right now, and it's currently playing at all drive-ins, I believe, even in our city.
That's cool.
In our city as well. It's a cool trade-off, because we were supposed to have gotten Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I hope is a good film.
It's got Paul Rudd in it, so better be good.
Hell yeah.
In my last piece of news, which is actually about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Well, one of my last pieces of news. CW has announced that Buffy the Vampire Slayer will make a return back to the small screen. We have yet to find out who will be the Slayer. It's being said that this season will follow the story arc of season 8 in the Dark Horse comics. So they're going to follow the comics stories. We all know, or if you're a fan at least, Buffy was canceled at season 7 as far as the TV show, and then they continued the storyline through Dark Horse comics, and they went all the way to season 12.
Wow.
So, although Sarah Michelle Gellar is probably too old to return, even though, whatever, de-aging they want to do, or, anything's possible, I guess, now. we're most likely going to see probably a new Slayer, but continuing that same kind of story that we're familiar with.
That's cool.
It could be cool, or it could be disastrous. We'll see.
I hope it's good.
And my last piece of news, since we are all mixed kids, or Diego's obviously super Mexican, I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on Shia getting some heat on some so-called brown facing in his new David Ayer film. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think he is. I honestly think he's playing himself as if he were. If you get a white kid, he's Jewish, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, if you got him and let's say Shia grew up in like that part of Los Angeles his whole entire life, would he not sound and pick up, things that a Latino would do? That's kind of... That's how I take it.
That's and we don't know the fucking even really the story or what his what his motive or what his character is even going to be doing in this film yet. But yeah, you put any kid in the barrio and they're going to carry themselves a certain way. You know what I mean? And I don't see, I don't remember anybody attacking fucking American Me. You know, they do this in a lot of movies where you have that one or two white kids who are just, they carry themselves that way. But I don't think it's malicious or trying to, how do you say, what's the word?
Like ill intent?
Yeah, or be like a culture vulture or fucking, appropriating anything like that. It doesn't, the trailer, and I didn't even care for that trailer very much. I thought it was kind of lackluster for me. Here's another David Ayer movie, and I like him, but I was just like, nothing for me set this apart. You know what I mean? And if you've seen Harsh Times, Christian Bale fucking speaks fluent Spanish in that, and he also is he has that fucking attitude from East LA. You know what I mean? And nobody fucking said anything about that. So is it just the fact that it's Shia? You know what I mean?
I mean, he's not black facing anybody or brown facing anybody, dude. I mean, if he was dude, there's some, if you see other Mexicans or Latinos in general from other regions, some of us are white, bro. Some of us are brown. We're literally super mixed, you know?
Or if you're a Spaniard
Yeah, from Spain, they're all white. They look white.
Yeah, and so for people to identify, any mix, anything indigenous mixed, there's no such thing unless you're really indigenous, dude, that you can prove I'm from this native country, and I have a problem with that a lot of the times because it's regardless if you're because we have now in Mexico, there's it's a thing, and it's really happened. There's Afro-Mexicans down there, people from Haiti, people from Nigeria, from all parts of Africa. They're stable in Mexico, This guy grew up in LA. LA is the most melting pot city in the world besides New York. So for me, I take offense to that, when people yes, does he take his part too seriously? Yes, I do agree with that.
When you tattoo your whole body for a role,
Yes, do I agree that fool shouldn't have done that? I do. But am I against it? No, dude. And I want people to stop doing that, bro. I commend anybody to come and have a conversation with me about that because I don't believe Shia LaBeouf is doing anything wrong with this. I fully support Shia LaBeouf, and if anybody has a problem, there's a bunch of guys in the barrio that would like to talk to you because, I mean, at least to me, and I've seen it with other people, only people that are not officially a part of the Chicano movement talk shit about people that didn't grow up in the neighborhood, you know?
Yeah.
And that's stupid. To me, it's ridiculous.